welcome to the first episode of Odd Lots. I'm Joe Weisenthal, co-host of What You Miss and editor at Bloomberg Markets.
And I'm Tracy Alloway, executive editor of Bloomberg Markets.
Here at Odd Lots, we want to have a discussion every week about economics, finance, markets, market structure, which Tracy loves, maybe some politics and culture thrown in, stuff that doesn't necessarily fit into the normal day-to-day conversation. And we couldn't think of any guest better to have than Tom Keene.
Am I a guinea pig?
You're the guinea pig.
Okay, thank you. It was really something. Good morning, all of you across the nation and around the world. Good morning on YouTube. Please subscribe to Bloomberg Podcasts. Odd Lots, with a 10th year. I was definitely a guinea pig, and you guys were so desperate that you didn't have anybody else to talk to. Tracy Alloway, Joe Weisenthal, in celebration of what they have wrought. How did you two meet? I need to start with that. You were at the Financial Times. I would read, I said this the other day in a taping. You read Tracy Alloway, and you're like, damn it, she's smart. Joe Weisenthal single-handedly changed journalism and Business Insider. Did you meet before Bloomberg or here?
We met before Bloomberg. We mostly met on the internet. We had met at a bar, probably at some sort of journalist happy hour or something.
Well, so Joe was always sort of a presence just floating in the ether of the internet in my head. But the first time we met in person, I remember distinctly because it was at a bar in Midtown. And I was excited to meet you. And I go up to you, and you know how the first time you meet someone, you expect a little bit of small talk. How's it going? The first question Joe asked me was, what do you think is going on with the Eurozone? And that was it. And the whole conversation was just about the Eurozone after that.
Boy, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it was fun. We've been having fun talking about the Eurozone ever since. That was the first time in 10 years that I've listened to that intro to the first ever episode.
It's actually better than I thought.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. It didn't sound quite as bad and awkward as I expected. I have my memories from that time, the first episode with Tom was great, but my memories from that time was it was very uncomfortable figuring out what we were doing on the podcast. It didn't sound terrible, did it?
No, you make it up as you go.
That's right.
I have a cardinal rule. I never, ever listen to anything in the past.
You can't.
The only time I've broken that rule, Paul, was Joe Stiglitz and Ken Rogoff at Davos. That's the only thing I've ever listened to. Paul, pick it up here.
Tracy, how has the podcast evolved over these 10 years? Have you guys changed the way you kind of think about it?
Yeah, actually that intro wasn't too bad in terms of framing what we were going to do. But we were very lucky. We had a very long runway in doing this because, as you said, even 10 years ago, podcasts were not as popular as they are now. And so we launched this before Bloomberg even had a podcast team. We were doing it with radio. And,
we have a team, right? We have a team.
Now we probably have a team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So shout out to Bloomberg Podcasts, of course. But, no one was really listening. No one internally was pressuring us to make sure that we were growing. And so we were really allowed to explore and figure out what it is that we wanted to talk about.
I do think in the beginning, we had this impulse. It's let's just talk about anything other than what's in the news.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's okay, the news is talking about the Fed, et cetera, so we'll talk to Tom Keene about banjos and guitars and charting by hand and stuff like that, because this is not something that would ever, be in the news. Over time, I think we've definitely become a little bit more, we hew to the news, but not intensely. We did an episode this week about the dairy industry. Was that something prime in the news? Not really. So we sort of mix it up still, but it's become a bit more timely, I guess you'd say.
I'm amazed, I'm sure you guys are as well, just how many podcasts there are now. Yeah. It's such a popular medium for everybody, from the famous folks down to people you've never heard of that just want to, get their voice out. How do you guys kind of position your podcast with all the stuff that's out there?
We get asked about competition quite a lot. And I've heard of people launching podcasts because they want their own odd lots at competitors. I hear that all the time. It probably bothers me a little bit more than
It flatters me, yeah.
But the only response you could possibly do is just keep on going and try to have the best, most engaging interviews possible and the best content. So we kind of just keep doing what we have been doing.
John Micklethwaite, editor-in-chief of Bloomberg News, out with a note today on the celebration of Joe Weisenthal, Tracy Alloway, and Odd Lots. At the back end of his note, He's looking for stadium tours. What's the plan forward? Are you going to keep it under 10,000 live events, or can you pop out to 20,000?
I think we'll play Darrell Royal Stadium in Austin, Texas one day. That's obviously the dream. No, like this is the fun thing, which is that because we have like this community of listeners that we've built for a long time, we've been able to, it is mostly still a podcast, but we have a daily newsletter, and we have a Discord channel where people get together online and they chat 24/7 about topics they're interested in relating to things we talk about. And we've been doing more and more live shows. We did more in 2025 than we did in 2024, and I think 2026 will be a big year for that. It's fun meeting fans in various cities and seeing what they're into, and so hopefully across the country, maybe some in Europe. I don't know, maybe Hong Kong.
You have the pixie dust I have, and I don't know where I got this from. I'm going to blame it on my father. Both of you don't talk down to your audience. How do you do that, Tracy?
I think this is really important to understand. I think the media has a tendency maybe to oversimplify things.
Yeah.
Bullet points became very popular. I'm not saying that there isn't a place for summaries and simplification, but I think what we've discovered through Odd Lots is that people really want to learn. And what ends up happening is we do one episode on a topic. Semiconductors is the classic example. We started talking about those in early 2020, and then everyone just gets interested in it. We get interested in it, and we just do more and more hours, and we learn alongside our listeners.
Is there a guest that you've wanted to get, you just haven't gotten yet?
Not really. I mean, look, you can always list big names that would be fun to have on the podcast. I just don't really think about...
Chris Stapleton.
Okay. Yes. There are some major country stars I'd love to have on. No, but for real, like, there's always names, right? There's always, I never had...
All I know is I get people soliciting me. Can you get me on Odd Lots?
Well, anytime you hear that, you know what's funny? I always tell people, if you have an idea, pitch it. And people think I'm joking or like,
I'm going to pitch it right now.
We're always here for the pitching.
Ready? Yeah. Here's the Odd Lots guest for Joe Weisenthal. Okay. Tracy, you can play along as well. You to speak with John McBride of Blackbird Studio in Nashville.
Great. I'd love to do that episode.
Who has the largest collection of the stuff that someone like Chris Stapleton sings.
I would love to do that.
He's
episode.
Martina McBride's husband, and he.
Do you have a contact with him?
Call up Blackbird.
All right.
Use my name and they'll hang up. But
See, this is how we end up with an Odd Lots live show in Nashville.
Yes.
I was at the Bloomberg Cafe years ago, and the studs are in the back row, including a younger John McBride. But John McBride deserves to be on Odd Lots.
I think that'd be a great episode.
That would be a great episode.
That's how it works. I think.
I'm sorry, Tracy. I just said.
Right.
Tracy will like it too.
I like country. Yeah. I just want to say, Tom, thank you for being our first guest.
Yes, thank you so much.
You were the best first guest we could imagine.